doctor said he couldn't believe I got the whole cucumber up there.
Man, I wait for these stories every week. I just love. I think we're
Oh,
live.
we're live. Hi.
I tell. What did the cucumber taste good after?
It was not too bad. Just run it under the tap. It's fine.
I'm sure it was like had good like solid flavoring, like almost
Very
like a
solid.
saute. Yeah,
Bovril.
marinated. Because we got one viewer, whoever that is, probably just left. Like, what the
What?
hell? What's incoming?
Oh, God.
What is actually incoming?
Hang on.
Naughty. Yeah, it seems like my signal on my end in some capacity is not as strong as it should be, but my Wi-Fi doesn't look like it's a problem. But I don't know.
I don't know. Sometimes mine's like that though. That's why I had to have a word with the provider, and fascinating listening, everybody. But I had to have a word with my provider, and they said like just put everything on plane mode. That's a device. I mean, obviously, if you've got people in the house wanting to use stuff, you can't stop them using stuff. But I mean, like as long as it's down to the minimum, and then that normally, because it's quite like intensive, isn't it? It's running live video. So it
I don't
wants.
really understand how it all works. It doesn't make sense to me because I feel like
Well, if you think
it's
about
this.
it being like the cucumber, and then you want to try and get a pen in there as well,
Right,
which would be your
right.
phone, it's just going to hurt.
It might feel good for some.
In that good way.
There's nobody here, thank goodness, unless my mom is listening.
Or did
Like,
someone
what
leave?
is? Yes. So I'm just looking at my list, making sure I got everything together. You know what I didn't check?
What?
One of the books. It wasn't so much the main story that like the selling part of it. It was the other material that it collected was quite dense
Okay.
as far as, so I'm like, what are those issues? When does that take place? I should have looked that up. I meant to. I mean, I still could.
I'm wondering if that's going to be one we both choose then.
Oh, my mom says she likes your haircut. She
Oh,
is here.
thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Erickson. I do have the horn right now. I mean, like this bit.
What
I've
did
got
you
this,
say? You have the what?
the horn. I've got I've got a natural Venger horn. Like in the old Dungeons and
Yes.
Dragons cartoon. Can't get it to go away.
It's cute.
Lorelei's got it as
It's
well.
nice. It suits you. Oh, does she?
Yeah.
That's so neat.
Yeah.
What was the book? Oh, yes. Before we officially begin, we'll wait for some of our friends to pop in.
Cool. Oh.
Who do we got with us? Who'll be first, BC Scrubs or Omega Bread?
We got the bread.
Hey,
Oh,
he
just
beat
watching
him.
some madness at Old Trafford in the Europa League. So I'm slightly distracted for the next 5 minutes. That's fine. Not offended by your preference for football over comics.
I understand.
Where's your loyalty, bread? Where's your loyalty? I assume it's football. I don't have a clue. I don't know what Old Trafford is.
I think
People
it's where
mention these
Manchester
big
United
venues,
plays.
like where sports stuff happens, and it's a different venue for each big thing. And I'm literally, I don't know what anyone's saying. Yeah, we're going to go off to Twickenham this weekend. I'm like, all right, is that cricket? No. What, darts? I don't know. Man United were 4-2 down with 5 minutes to go, and they've scored 3 times in 5 minutes to lead the game. It's crazy stuff. All
Wow,
right, Marvel Man.
that is crazy.
Please talk about something that's not football.
I appreciate the football, Omega Bread. I do appreciate. I wish I could keep up with it, but the time difference is difficult for me to know when things are happening midweek. I don't mind soccer. We call it soccer. Football is what it should be called.
Yeah. I don't really understand why American football is called American football. It's
Me
American
neither.
touch ball.
Yeah, handball.
Yeah.
Actually, it's I don't get it either.
What are you up to, Marvel
Okay.
Man? What are you doing at the minute, dude? Are you allowed to share? We're just going to stay on for a little bit longer while we wait for a couple more people to join, and then we're going to start
can kick the show
an
off.
incoming.
Yes. Another incoming, and then we got some fun stuff down the road. I'm excited.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are always fun.
Dude, I'm 3 issues away from finishing Crisis. All time.
How is it? All of it.
Huh?
The all of it. The all of Crisis.
It's those 3 crossover volumes won't get particularly good ratings. There might be the odd little gem in there, but a lot of it you're going, what? It's really weird.
Yeah, but I think that was the thing about that era of DC. It was just kind of like, what's going on? What are we actually doing here? What is worthwhile to keep making? And we could build something. And I feel like people were at the point where it's like, let's build something with what we got. Because like some of the things you brought up last week with the Crisis talks, like that was an issue.
Yeah.
So inconsequential.
Yeah. I think that's the problem with it. I mean, it's their first real big crossover. Maybe they just really didn't know how to play it.
Yeah, I guess it was really their first true crossover. They would have those summertime ones where they would do like Earth 2, Earth 1 type of deals, but they weren't
one title.
Yeah, it wasn't like this. You're right.
Yeah.
Should we begin?
Let's
Should we get going?
Let's start.
Let's do it.
Hang on. Oh, I'm just going to blow my nose. I realize I'm a bit sniffly.
Everybody, if I look a little bit blocky or choppy and not as clear as I should be, I apologize. I don't know why on my end there's a bit of a iffy connection, but hopefully I sound good because that's all that really matters, right? Let me put my hat backwards. This is my new baseball cap. Bought it at the baseball game.
Oh, sorry about that.
No problem. All right.
Oh, I've got hay fever.
Ready.
Still.
You ready?
Well, hello, Yansum.
Yeah, Yansum fella, you.
You're a Yansum devil. What's your name?
All right, we'll do the countdown. Here we go.
Okay.
4, 3, 2, 1, and... boom! As a twister comes through, hello everybody, welcome to the Omniverse Comics Guide podcast. We are your Omniverse Comics guys. I'm Eric. That's my pal. What the hell are you doing, Dave? You're quite flexible. It's impressive.
I'm playing Twisted, mate.
I love it. Everybody that's with us on the Twitch, watching Dave do the twist, we appreciate you joining us. Everybody that's watching on YouTube or listening on your preferred podcast platform, we thank you for joining us. I'm keeping an eye on you, Dave, making sure you don't hurt yourself. I don't know why, because I can't do anything to help you. But everybody who is watching and listening, thank you for joining us. Hit that rate and subscribe button. We do appreciate it. Share it with your friends if the show is helpful as comic book fans. And of course, we cannot forget omniversecomics.guide, where you can go to for all of your reading orders that Dave has so lovingly prepared, all of the podcasts that we've recorded together, our interviews, collector item specials. It's all there. Check us out, omniversecomics.guide. Tell your friends, tell your family. Dave?
Hells yeah. Spread the word. Spread the wide.
Spread the word. How are you, buddy? How's it going?
I'm all right, thanks, dude. Just lost Twister, so a bit of a down note, but I figure it can only go up from here.
You know what? There's nothing quite like a good loser. Somebody who can bounce back from a loss and say, I'm not giving up. Everything is still looking up. You got a positive outlook. Go get him. We'll get him next time. Next week, Twister.
I'll get you next time, Gadget.
That's right.
Next time.
Nice. That's very good. You should be a voice actor.
Oh, well, we'll think about that.
There you go. My wife always used to tell me that I should try doing, should have been a voice actor, like cartoons, because I would always mess around with like the teddy bears in the house or anything, to put a voice behind them, and it always got people laughing.
Yeah.
I know it doesn't seem like that.
You need to do it for us one day. You need to give us a little puppet show.
Okay, we'll do that. Well, I'll do a whole podcast just as me as a puppet.
All right.
The whole time. But I'll do an impression of you doing my voice from New York.
Oh, wow. I'll take a week off and I'll just watch it.
This is, you know what? We are becoming known as the incoming show because it seems like we're always getting back together when it's time to do another incoming. So we love these episodes. I think the listeners and viewers enjoy them because there's nothing quite like knowing what's next to buy, right?
Yeah.
That's what makes us.
It's the excitement,
it's
the anticipation.
It's finally being released.
Yeah.
I'm finally going to be able to read that book. So there's a couple this year where I'm just like, they've been on my wish lists of, in our most wanted omnis. At some point in time, I've listed a lot of the ones that are coming out, and I'm like, Dave, they're listening. They must be listening.
Or it's a massive coincidence.
Massive, because how many people want a Warlord?
I know. What are the chances of that?
Right? I did not think that would ever happen, but I'm like, I would actually be interested. I've pre-ordered it. Staying true to my, see how it goes. Why not? So, anyways, that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about May 2024. Was this an expensive month for you, potentially?
No.
Okay.
No, it's. I think May generally tends to be a little bit quieter in some ways. It seems to be like one of those months where it's just a bit of an odd mix. It's like you can probably sneak a few bits out. What's happened? What's not happening in May? Why is May the month to kind of go? Do you know what? We won't release any books this month. So some companies aren't even releasing any books. They might be releasing single issues, but not releasing any collected.
I saw a few things that I selected last month pushed into May, and I was like, "Oh, that's a good one." I'm like, "Well, no, that was last month's pick." I almost cheated my way into
Silver
putting them
Surfer
twice.
being one,
and I think Annihilation as well.
Right.
I'm not sure if we list. Yeah, so there was a couple that caught me off guard, but there might have been some that were listed for April, and I didn't pick them, but they ended up being pushed into May. Might have been, so we'll see. But yeah, I'm pretty good for May as well. Like my wallet, I can almost like splurge on some things that weren't on the list, or maybe things that were on the list before. Now's the time to get them because May's pretty good.
That's good thinking.
But there are things worthwhile.
Oh God, yeah. No, there's definitely things.
Yeah, like
I must admit, I did struggle to keep it down to 5. I was switching things in and out. Yeah. Some of it's just experimental, interesting stuff. And that's one of the benefits of when the big two don't push so much stuff in a month, and it kind of gives the smaller companies a bit more leeway to go like, here, take our stuff. It's really good. And we go, please. It does feel a bit that way sometimes.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's I'm not sure if any of the trade stuff that's happening globally is going to be affecting what's coming out or what's not going to be coming out either.
Aren't. But I don't know if that counts as books. I don't know, but I guess it changes day to day. So,
yeah. Well, here's hoping everybody gets the books that they've been waiting for, and there are some definite good ones to pick up if you don't own them already. I'll admit there's a couple here that I have versions of, but they're being re-released, which is, I realized today we often pick things that get re-released. And it could seem like a cop-out, but when you see books that are not available anymore, pardon?
I don't.
You don't?
No. I have a no re-release rule. I literally won't do re-releases.
I did not know that.
Really?
I did not.
I think I'll only do it if they release it in a different format.
Fair enough. I didn't realize. I don't know how often I do that, but there are things that are not available anymore.
Yeah.
And when I would recommend them to somebody, and you see on whatever platform you shop with, the book's going for $1,000.
Yeah.
And it's going to be reprinted. So when that does come back out, it is
you
like,
don't always though, do you? Sometimes you think well, are they going out? So yeah, it depends sometimes how long the wait's been. Like if it's some things are out quite frequently, so it's like, I'm sure people will notice it. But
true.
We'll see.
Well, we'll see. Here we go. Dave, who's first this week? You usually keep track of that.
I don't know.
All right. I'll go first.
You go first.
Yeah, next week is... Well, I'll remember. Next week is Dave's turn to go first. I'm going to start off with something that I'm reading currently, or I have been reading throughout the year, and it's definitely worthy of the omnibus treatment. I'm not sure why it's taken so long. That's Wonder Woman by Greg Rucka, which is coming out May 27th. It's a very strong era for the character, the right writer at the right time, consistent artwork, some really cool stories. I think I mentioned one in our battle scenes
You
episode.
did, yes.
Yeah. It started off, I wasn't sure when I started off reading the series, like where's this going? But the collections that I have begin with the Hikatea storyline, which is like a Batman, Wonder Woman team up. And it's immediately engaging. So you look forward to where is Greg Rucka going to take the rest of this run that he's got some time to, tell a story.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy that it's coming out in omnibus form. It's deserving of it. It's one of the stronger Wonder Woman eras. And it leads into Infinite Crisis.
Yes, it does. So it's got all the OMAC stuff happening around it as well. So that's why there's a couple of tie-in issues in there as well, I think.
Yeah. And it's listed as a volume 1 because Greg Rucka does come back to Wonder Woman during the Rebirth era and does like an omnibus amount worth of Wonder Woman again, which I guess will be the volume 2, which is it's I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
but
I was going to say, do you reckon you'll get that as well?
I don't know if I would get that one.
Yeah.
I have this collection of Wonder Woman that I enjoyed finding and collecting as it came out, so I want to just keep the one I got. I don't know if I'll actually buy the Omni, but I do recommend for anybody who wants a good place to start reading Wonder Woman, this is definitely worthy of that treatment on the shelf.
Niceness. Yeah. I mean, I'm really keen to have it. Around that period of time, it's a really, really exciting time. It was the same time Marvel were doing their Civil War stuff, and it seemed the two companies were really, really pushing out some strong titles. So that being one of them. So even though Wonder Woman's, I don't know, it's funny because I think Wonder Woman, as a guy buying Wonder Woman, it always seems a bit odd. Like I remember buying female-led titles when I was younger, and my mum going, "Are you sure? Are you sure you want She-Hulk? Like, why? It's a girl, you know." But like, why not? It's. I don't think there's really that strangeness attached to it anymore. But I'm quite keen to read this because I've only read bits of this.
Yeah, it's really good stuff. The way that I think she had been for a while, but this one really, from the way I'm reading it, leans into that ambassador position that she holds as like somewhat of a political figure between, right, and where she's located. But I think that's been there for a bit. But this one starts off with that sort of. The challenges she faces also begin with her perception as a public figure, not just a superhero, right? And then, so that situation she's in with being, like a goddess or Amazon. In this, she's not a goddess; she's just the Amazonian princess. But that position from the Mascara to Earth to Justice League, like she's got these different roles, and in each of them, she has to be a different way for different people. And there's some scenes in it. Somewhat of a spoiler where she comes into like after a battle with the Justice League, for instance, and she shows up to work and she's like bloodied up or like battle driven. They're like, "Are you okay? Like we got to do this. Can you?" She's like, "Yeah, it's fine. We have to do that. We're fine." And she just goes on about her business after having been off planet type of thing. Like those little moments.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, it's a cool book. I highly recommend Greg Rucka's first volume for sure. I'd have to reread the second, but the first one is very strong stuff.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Excellent choice, man. And funny enough, for my starter, I'm also going with a DC Omnibus this time around.
Nice.
And I've chosen Suicide Squad by John Ostrander, Omnibus Volume 1. I wasn't sure if that was on your list already, so I was feeling a little bit of the old guilt sneaking in.
It's on my list.
I thought it might be. It was a bit of a long shot, but it's
okay.
John Ostrander, Steve Irwin, John Byrne, Luke McDonnell, Eric Larson. There's all sorts of a mix of big name creators, some you may not be as familiar with. It collects a huge number of comics. It's 1,064 pages, but apart from 18 issues of Suicide Squad, there's a number of crossover and tie-in issues like the crossover with Justice League International. There's their Origins revealed, the Legends tie-ins from Secret Origins. Also, Legends, the miniseries, is included in this. And as far as I'm aware, it's the whole mini.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah, that's really cool. And also there's a Firestorm event. So they play a big role in that Firestorm event. So that goes from Firestorm 62 to 64 and annual number 5. So there's all sorts of stuff in there, and it feels a lot more complete. So DC lately, or in the last few years, have been doing a lot of those creator-led titles. So it's John Ostrander, but it also includes some stuff that he didn't write, which I think is great, because that's what we want. We want to see how it all pieces together. We don't necessarily have to have every little thing, but it looks really, really positive here. And you've only got Millennium number 4 of that event, and Millennium's not collected anywhere else in completion, I don't think, or the trade's been out of print for a long time. So maybe we'll see that at some point as well. It's not the best crossover ever, let's be honest.
Haven't heard enough good things to make me want to read it.
Yeah, don't bother. So, but yeah, they've got, the team are made up largely of villains, like in the film that you'd be familiar with, but also there's some heroes, like Speedy is in it, the Green Arrow's sidekick, because he wasn't really doing anything at that point in time, so he shows up as a member of the squad. Vixen is in it, who was just in the Justice League, and there are a few other heroic characters in it. So it is a bit of a mix, and they go up against Female Furies, Manhunters, Batman, the JLI, Doom Patrol, Firestorm, as I mentioned. There's all sorts, but there's also some stuff they're doing for the American governments. They go up against the Russians, because this was the 80s, so stuff like that was still a thing. Well, the more things change. Yeah, it's an interesting title. I'm really keen to see how it reads nearly 40 years on, because I've only read the occasional snippet, so I really want to give the whole run a go. And seeing as it's over 1,000 pages and we only get 18 issues of Suicide Squad in there, it feels like we're going to get a nice lengthy run of this title and really get into who the Suicide Squad actually are.
How long was that run, the John Ostrander stuff? Do you know what? I'd have to look it up, but
1987. No, I don't know.
It wasn't 100 issues, or over 100 issues, was it?
It was 90. Oh, they've done that thing where they. Hang on, bear with me. 66 issues.
Yeah, so that's probably 3 volumes.
Yeah,
they could make They could make it 2, depending on how many crossovers they want to add to it.
Yeah, exactly. Because
right?
I'm not sure
how much they want to milk it.
There's some stuff in this one that I literally don't know without checking what relevance it has. Like Manhunter #1, a couple of issues of Checkmate. There's all sorts of stuff in there, so it just depends how much more we see of that in the future. But yeah, I reckon 3 volumes. I think you're probably not too far off the truth.
And it's really good stuff. Like, Suicide Squad had existed before this, but this really put them on the map with just a series that was just strong throughout. The character-driven stuff is what you really, I think, the closest comparison that I've experienced to the feeling that series gave me was Gail Simone's Secret Six, where you're taking these, this mishmash of characters who their moral compass varies for different reasons, but you find yourself like kind of rooting for them, but I don't know if I should be, but I get why they've got to do this thing, right? Yeah. And I think even Ostrander stepped in for a little bit during that Secret Six series when Gail Simone had some time out. Yeah, he filled in for like a storyline, so it was like a perfect fit. But this is good stuff, definitely strong stuff. And those first 18 issues, especially, like, you're gonna get the legends going right into that. It's perfect that they included the legends. I really like that. That's a nice touch.
Yeah, that is a really nice touch. I'm really glad it gets the Omni treatment finally, that event. I expected to see it in a Superman Man of Steel collector's edition at some point, and maybe it still will be if they ever get around to doing that.
Yeah. Man, they're gonna don't get me started on those. Anyways, let's get back to the list. I do have a few re-releases this week, I will admit. So I'm gonna pick my first one, which is Silver Surfer by Stan Lee, and John Buscema. And I say that because there was a good period of time where it was very hard to find that omnibus. It was out of print for a while. And when it came back, it was a hot item that had a misprint in it that became like it had to be reprinted again.
Did it?
Because it had like a couple pages out of order.
Oh.
So it kind of broke the way you were reading the story. I finally got a copy, happy to say. So whenever this does come back around, you never know. I think it's because there's a Fantastic Four movie coming, so it's in, a good look to have. That. Yeah. But hey, I have a soft spot for this stuff. It is signature Stan Lee Silver Surfer narrative, a lot of philosophizing, more dimension hopping instead of space faring.
Mm-hmm.
But I love Buscema's art during this time. I don't know. I just got a real soft spot for it. And anybody who likes Silver Surfer, give this a shot, because this is, I don't know, it's 18 issues, but they're a little bit longer issues. It was a unique book for the time because it didn't follow some of the same rules that I think the other ones had yet. Am I wrong in remembering that these issues were longer?
I think they were. I can't remember. I mean, the book itself is 576 pages, but it is only 18 issues plus Fantastic Four Annual 5, or some of it, and an issue of part of Not Brand. I never know how you pronounce it. Not Brand X.
Not Brand X. Yeah,
there's no.
That would
there's
be.
No. Why didn't they just put an S on the end of it? It really bothers me. Anyway, I don't really like the humor books from Marvel. I just funny how. So, yeah, it's the thing is, if you were wondering how it all fits together, the Silver Surfer Omnibus Volume 1, they might as well take Volume 1 off it, because Volume 2 is the one that's coming out now, pushed back into May. So that would essentially be Volume 2, and then Volume 3 would be the Infinity Gauntlet stuff. So they're not numbering them consecutively in that way, but that's the order they go in. So it's Lee and Buscema Omnibus Volume 1, then whatever it is of the Spaceways. What was it called? I only mentioned it last month.
Oh, yeah. Let me see here. Return to the Spaceways.
Is it Return to the Spaceways? What a weird title. And then it's Infinity Gauntlet. And after that, it gets a little bit shaky.
Yeah.
As a series. So that's your peak Surfer, I'd say.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was one of those books where reading it just made me laugh at myself for some of the things that I consider to be ridiculous when you're reading it in a comic book format. But then you think of some of the things you accept in your own beliefs, and you're like, it's basically the same concept. I just dismiss something because it's being drawn in a comic book.
Right.
But the things that I was... Pardon? What's that?
Do you remember like...
Oh, yes. It's because it's a heavy... dose of Mephisto that you get.
Oh yeah, you do. Well, it's his first appearance in Silver Surfer, isn't it?
Yeah. So there's a lot of like that philosophizing of afterlife and selling your soul and all of these sort of, they're not really religious, but to that point where you're thinking in transcendent sort of ways with the Silver Surfer.
Okay.
So just reading it, and I'm like, this is kind of deep stuff. But it's a comic book. It's just for kids. And I'm thinking to myself, well, a lot of the stories we believe in are kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
So what's the, so reading it, I'm just like, let me just enjoy the ride of reading this book that's making me think about things differently. Cool. I don't know. So yeah, I got a soft spot for this book.
Nice. Well, I know you have a soft spot for the Surfer generally, so that's a really nice re-release. And it has been a while. Yeah. So the 2020 was the misprint. And then before that was 2007, so it is kind of way out of decent reprint territory. So yeah,
when it comes back out, if you want to get that book, get your hands on it, because you don't know when the next time 5 years has been. So yeah, it's a long time to wait.
It is a long time to wait. Right,
Dave,
then
take it away.
Okay, my second tonight is from Boom Studios. And it is called A Vicious Circle. Boom! That sounds familiar for some reason. It's called A Vicious Circle. It's a hardcover. It is a mere 176 pages. Always feels really weird when you're looking at all the omnis going, oh, that's a big one. Oh, that's going to be a beaut. Oh, that's small for an omnibus. And then you get 176 pages and you go, all right. It feels really tiny by comparison. But it's nice. I like this switch between the big beasts and the nice little winners that catch you off guard. So this, according to the blurb, it's a mind-bending, genre-blending sci-fi epic following two time-traveling assassins locked in a battle of wills that spans millions of years from 22nd century Tokyo to 1950s New Orleans to the Cretaceous era and beyond. Excuse me. The genre-defining Eisner Award-nominated epic is now complete. Legendary artist Lee Bermejo and visionary writer Mattson Tomlin, apparently he's worked on Berserker and The Batman Part 2. Is that the film? Joined forces for an exhilarating, mind-bending time travel saga, spinning from what it just said before. Sean Thacker is a trained assassin from the future who seeks revenge on the only other man with his affliction. Each life they claim propels them both through drastically different times, spanning the distant past and future. As their destinies intertwine, these two mortal rivals find themselves locked in a battle of wills that spans millions of years. At stake, the course of history itself. 3 issues, they're probably quite chunky issues, all collect in one book. If you look this sucker up, that cover is incredible. And as soon as I saw it, I just went, yep, getting that.
What's it called again?
A Vicious Circle.
One more time. A Vicious Circle.
Yeah.
Boom. We got to make that a t-shirt already.
It's too late for the boom, man. We're into the show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks... I got to say, I'm not the biggest Lee Bermejo fan when he does Batman, but that looks like that's what he should be drawing. Like, pardon my hot take to be like, that's what you should be drawing, but that's amazing. But I'd never really care for his DC stuff. But that looks great.
I think he did some really, if I remember rightly, he did some great Daredevil covers. I'm trying to think now. But yeah, this is something else. I mean, if you're listening to this or watch this, just honestly, you have consent to pause for a moment and go and breathe that cover in. It looks incredible, and I want it. It's mine, and I want it now. So that's coming out
I want it.
Gimme! It's coming out on May the 22nd, and from Boom, and I cannot wait.
That's cool. That's a very cool book.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Pleasure.
All right. We're on number 3 before our commercial break.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I'm going to go with something that has been printed a lot of times, but this is a new format. And I thought it was a really cool format for people who don't own this book, but all the other stuff that comes with it. And that's DC's Finest, The Killing Joke. So clearly The Killing Joke is the selling point. Easy option for the cover, easy way to name the book. But you get that series from Alan Moore and Brian Bolland, classic, whatever. But then you got about 20 more issues of collected material between Batman and Detective Comics. Now, I looked up the Batman stuff that it collects, and it's the Jim Starlin, Jim Aparo era, which I don't think was very long, but it is good stuff. And I think that leads into the Death in the Family storyline. Now, on the Detective Comics side, it's issues 580 to 589, and I don't know what the creative team was on that, so I don't want to say, oh, it's Norm Brayfogle and Grant. I think it was, I forgot the writer's name. It was Grant something.
Alan Grant. Yeah, I don't know if it was them, but that era was a strong era. So not to include not just The Killing Joke, but all those issues is a really nice option and a good price point. So I'm tempted. I mean, I own The Killing Joke, read it before, but that looks like some good comics. Well, sorry. Detective has got some odd issues in it, but it does have some great covers. So the really classic cover, which is Detective 587, which I think was a Norm Brayfogle cover, and it's one where it looks like his cape is torn and it's kind of, he's stood above a puddle or in the rain, and it's blowing out behind him. I don't know what the story is, but that is a cover that would make me pick up the book, It's also got a Ratcatcher in it and a tie into Millennium. So we're really kind of getting into that. It's like the what's that? 1988. It's most of 1988 for detective and probably for Batman too.
Yeah. It's good. That's a good era.
Yeah.
Good creative era. Big things were happening with the character. Some changes were going on. It was right around the time that the movie was coming out. So Batman was a hot topic, a hot product, and a lot of the things surrounding the character in the comics were pretty good as well. So this is a pretty good collection to get your hands on.
Yeah, and it essentially works as a volume 2 for the post-crisis Batman run.
Yes, exactly. So after you would read, I don't know which. Yes, I think it picks up right after year 1, right?
Yeah, so what's technically volume 1 was Batman year 1 and year 2.
Right.
And then this is volume 2
Carries
for
on.
all intents and purposes.
Good call. Yes, that's a great shout. And again, I like how they're collecting it. They're adding good stuff in it. They're giving Marvel a run with the epics with these DC Finest. I like it.
Yeah, me too. I'm really, really, really excited by a lot of these books they're releasing. It's some of the order is a bit weird, like releasing the very end of the Bronze Age, which I guess is the Crisis tie-ins for the book before year 1 and year 2, is a bit of a strange choice. That's coming up soon. It kind of might have been nicer to see the beginning of the Bronze Age upwards, because that's when Batman starts to really get good again. That's when Denny O'Neil jumps on. But maybe we'll see that as an omnibus at some point. Come on, DC.
Yeah, that would be nice. All right. Is it time for commercial break?
It is time for commercial break, and I always forget. Please do keep commenting. I'm trying to read, but for some reason I can't focus tonight, and I just can't see, even though I've got it as big as I can get it on screen. I will try and catch comments as we go, but it's quite tricky for me at the minute, and I don't really understand why. So bear with me.
So we got some comments from Omega Bread saying that the cover is fire, and I guess in reference to Liber Mejo.
Yeah.
Yep. Marvel Man 901 mentioned that it is a great Batman era, so that's good to hear. And Ostrander was on the book, like you mentioned, up to issue 66.
So it was 8 trades for that.
Yeah. I was collecting those trades for a little bit, and I couldn't keep up.
Right.
I had to make a choice. But to see it coming out in this format, well, maybe I can make space.
It's one of those things as well, I think. When they release it in omnibus format, they include all the extra stuff that wasn't in the trades. So it's kind of still hard to judge exactly how long it might be, because I think we're getting more than was in those books. But I could be wrong. Do you happen to know what was in those trades, Brad? Off the top of your head?
I do remember that they would have crossovers.
They did.
Like they were making sure the story was complete. So if there was something that
JLI one would have been in there and stuff like that, for example. I'm not sure if all that Manhunter stuff and Checkmate would be in it though.
There was, I think, in the second volume, there was a direct crossover with, I don't know if it was JLI or.
Is that the Janus Directive?
Yes, think so.
I can't remember. I think it crosses over with a couple of titles.
Yeah, so they were complete. They made sure that they included the stuff that would complete the story. Like you weren't filled with gaps.
Okay. Cool.
From my memory.
Yeah. Brad says they include everything that's in the omnibus minus the Legends crossover.
And I really like that they included that, especially because Ostrander wrote it and set up the Suicide Squad there. It's a perfect fit. And I think it's helpful when you begin the actual series. It's good.
It belongs in that series belongs in one of 2 places, and that's in this omnibus or Man of Steel omnibus.
Yeah.
Give us the Man of Steel omnibus, please. Sort of. Although I've got it. And so do you. It's right there.
Many times. They're gonna do it for especially with the movie coming out. Like, what are you thinking?
Well, there's about 3 Death and Return of Supermans coming up. They're re-releasing the thing as a compendium, and it's going to be in the Triangle era stuff.
Yeah,
and
you're brave enough to do Triangle era. That takes a lot of work.
Doing it. Well, I want to reading order it all.
Anyways,
so sorry.
Put this right on.
I'm still a bit bummed, so bear with me. Stop saying bear with me. Okay. Let's see what's new to the Omniverse. For character reading orders, we only have one from the last month, and that is Frank Castle getting his revenge on in the Punisher reading order 1974 to 1990. Events and crossovers from Marvel. The full breakdown of the Infinity War from 1992 lets you know what to read, what to skip, and what to pick up next. There are a lot of tie-ins, but some are relevant, some are less relevant. Blood and Thunder takes place right after the Infinity Crusade and features an insane Thor versus the Silver Surfer, the Infinity Watch, and Thanos. And the 70s classic that introduced Thanos, the Thanos War. The Thanos War has been added to the OCG.
Wow. That's great. I love that storyline.
Do you?
No, I do, yeah. I was showing somebody today, sorry to interrupt your commercial break,
right.
but because people know that I am into comics and we do the podcast, they ask me stuff like, where do I start? And I'm thinking to myself, reading orders would be helpful. And I'm like, I know a reading order you could look up. And they were asking specifically for X-Men ones. And I went on the site and I showed them, like, here's an example of how it's set up. And they're good.
Yes.
So to know that you made a reading order for one of my favorite, like, eras of Thanos stories. He's another one I have a soft spot for, like Silver Surfer. I'm like, that's cool. That's for me.
Well, I haven't actually said what yet, but I'm doing everything that Thanos is in for a chunk, so I'm going to start doing a Thanos reading order as well.
And I've always wanted to read that Blood and Thunder storyline.
It's terrible.
Yeah, I've gotten that impression, but I'm kind of a sucker for Thor and Silver Surfer and all that.
The thing is, though, I was talking to Lee Reads, and he said he loves that storyline. So, like, it does, it just depends what your expectations are and what you get off on. But
yeah, I don't have high expectations.
No,
I wasn't a fan of the beginning of that run. Like, it picks up right after the Falco Friends.
It stays that way, even though it's a crossover. It's still, and you get Warlock and everything, but Starlin's on it, but still, it's not quite there.
Okay.
Oh, Mephisto reading order. Give us a good fisting, Dave. I might go back into that, but I've read it now. Oh shit! I'll try and include that. From IDW, we've got Revelation, which is the 2008 epilogue to IDW's first Transformers trilogy. Podcast and video. Incoming collector editions April 2025. Xander Cannon in our latest collector's item special episode, where he talks about his new series Sleep, which is fantastic, by the way. Genuinely, really, really good. And also some recommendations of his own. Top 10 Image comics of all time, which is doing rather well. New manga spotlight with regular guest Raf Cascarino, who asked the question, what is love? Oh, baby, don't hurt me. And if you were thinking that's a shortage of DC stuff this month, then be sure to listen to our Crisis on Infinite Earths comic speakeasy episode. Features.
I like it.
Features to wrap it up. We've got What to Read Before Night Terrors, the 2023 DC event, and What to Read Before Secret Wars, the 1984 Marvel event that kicked off all future events, pretty much. The event that started them all.
Nice. I like it. Some of the comments, just reading them.
What? I love that. I'd love a Mephisto reading order at some stage. Give us a good fisting, Dave. You're so wrong. You're so wrong, but so right.
Omega Bread did mention that the Killing Joke DC Finest book collects some things that have never been reprinted before, and that's a good something good to know. That excites a lot of collectors who there's just these gaps that they never fill in, and when they start doing it and they're kind of committed to making sure that everything is collected in a way that makes sense when you read it.
Yeah.
We're really appreciating that. So that's good to see.
That's
good
great.
Shout from Omega Bread. I like that.
If you let us know what's missing, dude, if you can as well, that'd be great, because I didn't know. Is it the annuals or like one-shots and stuff? It might be the one-shots and things like that. Miniseries.
Yeah. I mean, I know when they would put out stuff from that era, and they were often like creator-based stuff.
Yeah.
They would just stick to that creator-based stuff.
It's Batman,
like,
Son of the Demon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ah, that's cool.
And of course, the Killing
Very
Joke
cool.
is in there, and in theory, in order. But if they're not sure if it's in order, DC, don't worry. Just jump on our very own Batman family reading order at omniversecomics.guide.
Nice. See what I mean? Professional. All right, Dave, your turn. You're number 3.
My number 3 is scrolly. My last omnibus. I generally don't do tons of omnibus. I think there was a point in time when I was just going, my 5 most anticipated omnis this month. But this one caught me off guard. So this is Resurgence of the Valiant Universe Omnibus from Alien Books. It's 428 per pages. It's out on May the 20th. And it's the recent Valiant stuff that was released with creators like Fred Van Lente, Becky Cloonan. Includes the Valiants 1-4, Resurgence of the Valiant Universe 1-4, Finale one-shot, Resurgence Eternal Warrior. Everything's got Resurgence in front of it. Exo Manowar one-shot, Bloodshot one-shot. Look at how many shots can you get in there. Tales of the Dead Side, Shadow Man, Soul Eaters 1-4, all collected in one volume, and that's fairly recent stuff. So I'm really intrigued to see what they're doing with Valiant at the moment, although I am very, very far behind, and I should be working on part 2 of the Valiant Universe reading order, but I'll get to it.
I'm just happy that they're still around, because there was a moment in time where I just felt like nothing was really happening. So to know that there's a commitment to putting out those books from all the eras of Valiant and to continue going forward with the characters, I'm very happy, because there's such strong stories, such strong characters to work with, that to not have them around would be such a waste.
It would be a complete waste.
Content. Yeah. So I'm happy that they're not giving up on this, because I'm going to check this out. I want to see what's going on with Valiant. I'm tempted.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to buy a house just for my Valiant books in the future, because I can't part with them. It's ridiculous.
It's not. It's the right
Good stuff.
It's the right thing to do.
100%. Does this the Valiant 1-4, is it the Jeff Lemire?
No, this is all stuff from like the last year.
All right, I like that. That. Very cool, very exciting. All right, shall I go back to my reprint list?
Incoming reprints this month.
So I just had one reprint so far. But my next 2 are going to probably be reprints. I have to shout out this book. And it's from friend of the show, podcast collaborator, Mr. J.M. DeMatteis. They're releasing, I think Dark Horse Comics is releasing Moonshadow, the definitive edition. And this came out, I think, in 2018, 2009. I don't remember, but it's been years since this book was released. It's a beautiful book. John J. Muth, I think, is the artist.
Yeah.
If memory serves.
I think so.
It was part of the Epic line from Marvel, where it was creators being able to do what they really want to do. And he was able to kind of tell the story that he wanted to write a novel about. I have an episode in the Cave of Solitude archives. We should probably post it up to go along with this as a little thing, because I talked to him quite a while about Moonshadow. And it's not a superhero book. It isn't. You don't have to be a comic book fan to read this and enjoy it. It is deep. It is whimsical, if you will. It's a very interesting story that is got all kinds of psychological aspects to it, but beautiful.
Nice. Very,
very beautiful book. If you're a J.M. DeMatteis fan, this is probably up there with his best work.
It does look pretty.
It's such an interesting book. I can't recommend it enough, but again, it's not for everybody.
But what is? So I always say that. Well, I don't think anything's for everybody, but I think, like, try things out, you know? You might find you love it.
It was unique. Yeah, it was very unique of its time, where today you might see creators making a book like this, but back then this was the first of its kind, where it's more narrative with beautiful painting instead of paneling. I don't know if that makes sense, where the art all the art blends in the way it should. And you do have panels, but it's not your typical comic book, but it is.
Okay.
I don't know how to explain it. Just see for
It
yourself.
doesn't seem to be a lot of dialogue bubbles. It seems to be. Is that what you mean? Like it's.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's prosy, and what's being said and what's being shared with you is coming from the character, but it's narrated instead of it being all word balloons and the drama being explained to you that way. So it's a beautiful book. It really is.
And 528 pages, which is a chunker. It's called the Definitive Edition Expanded as well. So it's
Okay. So it's got some extra material then.
sounds like it. Yeah.
Yeah. I was very excited when it was released the first time in this format, because it was a Marvel Epic line, and then
Yes.
Berger Books through Dark Horse, who was Karen Berger was a collaborator like all those years at Marvel with JMD. So she was like, bring that over and we'll reprint it.
Nice.
So I think he's got some other stuff that might be getting reprinted through them, which I'm very excited for.
Well, there's another one I expected to see on this list tonight, but so far not. Maybe it's your number 5.
Okay. All right. Let's see.
We shall see.
Okay.
Okay.
Your number 4.
My number 4 is a surprise take. So everyone is taking the piss out of DC for releasing so many Batman books every month, and they just keep going, yeah. So clearly they must be selling, or else they wouldn't keep doing it. I've not picked up many, but I've picked up the ones that I've liked the look of, and actually, to be fair, they have been quite cool. So some of them being Black Label books, like the First Night, which was really, I just loved it. It was great. But there's a lot of stuff that's very standalone, and it's very different takes on Batman. This is another one of those. It's an Elseworlds title, as they brought those back. It's called Batman Full Moon. It's 152 pages by Rodney Barnes and Steven Subich. Apologies if I'm butchering anyone's names tonight. But it looks fantastic, and I've been following this artist on Instagram, and every time something comes up with this, it just looks so good. And I love werewolves. I've always been slightly obsessed with werewolves, following a series of dreams I had when I was a child. All perfectly normal, all fine, nothing to see here. I've had therapy, it's all good. So yes, Batman Full Moon. It's Batman versus werewolves, pretty much. I'm sure there's a better way of selling it than that. But like the blurb on here is so long. I'm thinking, can I be bothered? Go and look it up yourselves. Jeez, what am I? Wipe your ass? An apex predator is stalking the moonlit streets of Gotham City, and it's not Batman. When the Dark Knight finds himself the victim of a grisly bite thanks to a terrifying supernatural creature, he's forced to reckon with the darkest parts of himself and the most ironclad parts of his moral code, or suffer the consequences that could leave him more monster than man. There is a way to break the curse, however, but the cure to this lycanthropic problem may demand more from Batman than he's willing to give. With time running out, the moon waxing in the sky, and his monstrous instincts growing stronger with each passing night, how far will Batman go to save himself from the werewolf's curse?
Oh!
Yeah,
Yeah, because this is trailer. That was good, Dave.
thanks.
Got a little Vincent Price there going on,
I
too.
cut half. I did a little bit of a mix. I actually only read half of the explanation that was on here. It's like, there's so much. Like, you're telling me the story. Yeah, it looks so cool. And even the Batman himself on the cover of this thing, which is another great cover, but very simple, but heavily detailed where it needs to be. It just looks so cool. It's down on the cover there as DC Black Label, but it's listed as Elseworld. So I don't really know officially what it is. I can't tell if it was a mini first. I thought it was an original. But hey ho, don't really care. It's 152 pages. It's hardcover. And I want it because werewolves and Batman, please.
And what's the creative team again?
Oh, I can't say the names. So it's Rodney Barnes and Steven Subich. And I apologize yet again there for clearly mispronouncing at least once.
And I don't ask every time I ask you, it's just like to refresh our memories like one more time. And
No,
it always
isn't.
seems like a prank.
It's to put
like
me on the spot, you
what?
bastard.
I think I'm just gonna do it all the time now, just because.
I just assumed that's what you were doing because every time you say like, "Can you say the creators again?" Like my heart breaks. It just goes, And I'm imagining these people who like intently listening to the show, as I'm sure they are, just going, "Son of a, can't pronounce my damn name right,
No.
mother."
I've never actually had that intention, but now I always will.
Oh,
And I will
shucks.
ask every time. One more time, the creator's name? Oh, man.
Oh, Omega Bread has just said that Rodney Barnes is the creator of Image Book Philadelphia, an interesting, rather violent vampire series, which I was reading and then I forgot partway through. Not because it was bad. I was juggling a lot of books. It happens. Look. So,
Literally juggling.
literally. And also, in answer to Meat Trunk's question, was I a werewolf all along? I can't tell you that. Maybe one day in a speakeasy.
You got to be here as soon as we drop the live on Twitch. That's where our secrets
That's where
come
the
out a lot of
secrets
times.
emerge.
So if you're here as soon as we drop out live on Twitch, you'll hear us share a secret.
Every time.
Now that you mentioned it, there was a very, very obvious pick for me for May that I didn't put on my list, but it's in my pre-order. Like it's coming home, so I have to list it now. I'm gonna add it to the list. This is a series. It's complete blind buy for me. I know nothing about it to be able to share with everybody. Never read it, but it's Dr. Fate by J.M. DeMatteis, and is it Kevin McManus?
I think Sean McManus, I think.
Sean McManus. Thank you very much. When I was young, I used to see a lot of advertisements for this book in my Superman comics. And I liked seeing all the other DC superheroes advertised within the comic I was reading to know that they were out there, because there was a toy to match at the time with the Superpowers series. But I never read it. I know nothing about this particular version of Dr. Fate, but what I do know is how much DeMatteis enjoyed working on it, and how he always wished that had been reprinted because it was one of his favorite things.
Yeah.
So whenever a creator feels that way, I'm always interested in reading that particular thing that is a soft spot for them, especially when you already like a good portion of their work. Like, oh, why do you like that so much? Because most of the time creators aren't too self-congratulatory. They're quite critical about, I wish I did this better, and but hopefully people liked it. But when a writer is like, I loved working with Sean McManus, and I think Sean is working with him on the multiverse stuff that is coming out through their Kickstarter campaigns.
Right, actually, yeah.
So yeah, a lot of his collaborators that he's worked with, he's working with again, and this is, I think, their first time doing, I think, 27 issues. It's kind of compendium-ish.
It pretty much is a compendium. For some reason, I haven't called it that. And I always think it's better to do it because sometimes I like to just look up DC Comics compendiums and all the compendiums come up. So I think it's just call it a compendium and just help yourselves. Like, it's not going to do any harm. It's Dr. Fate 1987 series 1-4, and then the follow-up volume 2 1-24, and Dr. Fate Annual number 1. So it's a sizable chunk. It's not the end of the series. It does carry on, but it comes from a different writer. And now I can't, off the top of my head, think who it was. Let me check.
Yeah. However, I am very, very glad that they're putting this out there. I'm not sure what inspired them to finally do this. If it's a movie coming out, go ahead.
As Bill Messner-Loebs, who writes to the end of the series.
And how long does the series go until?
It goes on to issue 41. So there may yet be another one in just from Bill Messner-Loebs.
Yeah, so issue 24 to 41. Yeah, that's worthy to put another collection together.
Yeah,
it's a good chunk of issues, I guess. But yeah, that's definitely on the list of what I have already purchased. And thankfully, I got it on a pre-order, and it was one of those days where the pre-orders were like, is something wrong with their computers?
Yeah, it's really cheap on a lot of things.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. And this was one of those times for me, so I was like, hell yeah, because now the book is more than doubled in price, or just about doubled in price.
Yeah, so it's shot up.
I was happy about that.
Nice. Oh, yeah, good call. I actually didn't include it on my list because I assumed you would.
Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I
That's
do.
all right. Didn't want to
I didn't.
force you to choose it or
No,
anything.
I would have chosen that for sure if I had written it down. I saw it yesterday when I was looking through. I'm like, oh, obvious, like duh, and I didn't write it, so I forgot. So you
Ah,
reminded me.
yeah.
Thank you.
It's all right, mate. It's all right.
That's why we're there for each other.
Oh, I was going to go into song then, and it was a terrible song. It was the theme tune to a Garfield series from the 80s that I'd never want to hear the theme tune to again. But otherwise, yeah. Oh.
All right. Bring us
Okay.
home, Dave.
Going to finish this up tonight with Yucatan 1512. Yes, I know you were expecting that, but here it is. It's an original GN, it's an original graphic novel, so the correct use of the term. And it's from Alex. Oh God, don't ask me to say his name 3 times. I don't know if it's Alex Vade. It's Vede.
Yeah.
Vade. I'm not 100% sure, and I apologise.
VEDE.
Vede. It looks like he's the writer and artist
Yeah.
of the thing. And I just saw the cover, and it's one of those things where I saw that and just went, oh, yeah, I'll have that. I'm going to read you the bloib because, why not? In 1512, Spanish soldiers enter the Yucatan, seeking a legendary city of gold, and what they find instead will be exactly what they brought to these lands: death. The first original graphic novel from artist and writer Alex Vade. An evocative and immersive journey into the depths of vengeance and vibrant world of violence. Ooh, lots of alliterative V's there. Colossal violence is in the age of discovery. Ha ha! You've sold me on that line alone. Colossal violence in the age of discovery. Whoo! Yeah. There's a whole load more blurb to it, but it's... do you want me to read it? I don't know.
I want you to tell me the creative team one more time.
Oh, you mother... It's only one person's name and I can't even get that right. Alex Spade. I'm sorry, Alex. I'm sorry. We're promoting your book, Alex. Let us off.
I think you should promote this on the Instagram and tag Alex and just say, we love you, Alex. We capped off our show with your book, but tell Dave how to say your name.
Unfortunately, the person who can't pronounce anyone's names is the one that chose your book, Alex. Sorry. Oh, the embarrassment.
The first name basis.
Oh, yeah. We're good mates. It's 80 pages, so relatively small compared to some of the others we've looked at tonight, but I think it's small but beautiful. It looks like it's really going to pack a punch, and they've got monsters in the Yucatan in 1512, and it's a history-altering thing, and that wins me over. I like that kind of slant on storytelling. But yeah, it's from Dark Horse Comics. I like a Dark Horse title when I can get a good one. And another one I'm really looking forward to. That's Yucatan 1512 from Alex. I've written it wrong on the notes I made and everything as well. Like I'm that crap.
Well, nobody can put a finishing touch on a book like you, Dave.
Thanks, I think.
Nice little bow. Anything that didn't make the list that almost did?
Yeah, I've got a couple, but I'll try not to bang on about it all. It's The Golem of Venice Beach, Volume 2 from Clover Press. Looks really, really interesting. It's by Channon Bazer and Vanessa Cardinali, I think. And apologies again, as always. Apologies all round to everyone tonight. But also features some little extra art pages from Frank Quitely, Jay Lee, David Mack, and others. This is a beautiful looking book. Take a look at it. You will more than likely agree with me. EC's Epitaphs from the Abyss, Volume 1, is a book I've been really, really looking forward to. So there's a modern take on the old EC horror stories. There's a couple of titles that Oni Press are running, that being one of them. I'm desperate to jump on this and have a look. It's an anthology book with Brian Azzarello, Jason Aaron, Stephanie Phillips, Charlie Adlard, Peter Krause, and a whole load more creators. And that's a Volume 1 trade paperback. On top of that, Boom are releasing Hit Complete Collection by Bryce Carlson and Vanessa Del Rey. DC have got Absolute Superman Red Sun and Injustice 2 Omnibus. I don't know if you've read Injustice 2 or not, but I'm going to give it a look. Distillery have got The City Beneath Her Feet by James Tynion and Elsa Carr. I've written it. It's correct. It keeps correcting everyone's names I'm writing, which makes it worse. Let's not bother with that one. And Image. Image have got Void Rivals Deluxe Edition Book 1, which I know other people are excited about, so I thought I'd mention it. I didn't like Void Rivals at all, unfortunately. Transformers Compendium as well, Volume 1 is coming out, which is the Marvel series. Be warned, I love Transformers. It's not the best stuff you'll ever read. Marvel Ultimates Epic Collection Superhuman, which is the first Mark Millar, Brian Hitch story arc, all 13 issues. And finally, from Oni Press, Kaiju Max, the Complete Collection Volume 2. Get it. It's 3 books in the series. How about yourself, dude?
I have Transformers from Daniel Warren Johnson from Image Comics. They're putting out deluxe edition for that.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't see that.
So that I had my eye on that. You mentioned the Suicide Squad. There's a couple books from the New 52 era that I completely ignored. I knew some people liked them. I hear mixed things, but I've wanted to read them ever since they've no longer been available. One of those was The Red Hood and the Outlaws. Ooh. I'm not sure which series within the New 52 was the stronger one, but this is from Tinian. James Tinian is the writer of this one with Kenneth Rocafort on the art. And I think the team, it's not the one, I don't think it's not with Lazaro on the team.
No, it won't be.
I think Lobdell is a writer on this one as well.
Oh, okay.
He's listed. And it's Jason Todd, Coriander from the Titans, and I think Arsenal. Are the team. I don't know anything about it. I don't know how good it was, but it hasn't been around for a while, and I've always been interested in giving it a read because I've heard some things about it. And the other one that is not part of coming out next month was the Deathstroke from the artist Tony Daniel did a Deathstroke 20 issues. They made an omnibus about it, and it's just like action packed. So these two books kind of, I think, went hand in hand a little bit. Okay. I could be wrong. So I've always wanted to read the content, but they're putting out the Red Hood and the Outlaws, so I'm like, I'll keep an eye on that. And the other one would have been, look at my list. Oh, that was it. I got to list all the other stuff.
Nice. Well,
yes.
Omega Bread has also dropped some random picks. I'm just going to read them out. One of them is Kill All Immortals from Image, DC Finest 0 Hour Part 2, which I don't know how. I think there are only going to be 2 trades for that. I'm not 100%.
I've got my eye on getting those. Yeah, I want to know how many trades there's going to be. Yeah.
I can't remember. I think they did say beforehand, but I can't remember. And one for Sorrow from Distillery. So Distillery are doing some interesting stuff lately, and they are one to watch. But it's all nice self-contained stuff.
Yeah. Were you interested in the Marvel Fanfare omnibus that's coming out?
There's some really nice little stories in it, but they're few and far between. So not enough to want to pick it up.
Right. Cool. Well, here we are again. We've done it. Another incoming. Everybody, thank you for joining us. We always enjoy this. Next week is going to be a fun one. We've got some good things coming your way, and hopefully if the schedule agrees, we've got a special guest coming. I'm not going to say who it is, but it's going to be cool. I think once the date is set, I'll announce it.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's pretty much a sure thing. It's just a matter of a date.
Cool.
Yeah, It's going to be cool. We'll see what happens. Dave, always a pleasure.
Never a chore, dude. Never a chore.
Always a pleasure. Everybody, thank you for joining us. Don't forget to visit us at omniversecomics.guide for all your reading orders, all the podcasts, all the collector item specials, creator interviews. It's all there. And if you're watching us on YouTube, live on Twitch, or any podcast platform, give us a thumbs up to subscribe. We appreciate it.
Like and subscribe, y'all.
Till next time. See you later.
Peace.